Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport for your live watch along of the MotoGP San Marino Grand Prix. We are just a minute or so away from the start of this race, and apologies, we are a little late, folks. Sadly, been in an absolute mad rush today to get here on time, but we're here and that's the main thing. So I'm just setting up everything as we speak. So the stream will be on in just a moment. So do get in touch. Let us know in the live chat page and on our poll who you think is going to win the San Marino Grand Prix. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe to the channel as we are very close to 5,000 subscribers. So help us get there. Click that subscribe button and help us get to 5,000 subscribers before the end of the race. So let me just set up the leaderboard for you. As I said, I'm quite late today, but that's my only excuse. I'll just change it there. I'm literally commentating on how I'm setting up the stream. Oh, hang on. Right, here we go. There we go. So there's your live leaderboard. And we're just about to start here. So here we go then. So they've done the warm-up lap. And of course it is Bagnaia at the front who starts us off here. He won last weekend. Can he do it again this weekend? Lap 1 of 27 begins as they come down the straight here in San Marino. Up towards the first corner. It's a right turn. Bagnaia comes out cleanly. And it looks as though Fabio Kontar is having to try and fight for second here. Along with Miller. Miller beats him to it on that second turn. And it's a great start for Bagnaia. It's an absolute clean run for him. And even though there's a big, massive stand of Valentino Rossi fans with their flares at the moment, it's all about Bagnaia at the front here. They might want to change their colours after this. But already a great start for what was a fantastic weekend for him, for Bagnaia last weekend. Can he do it again today? He had that battle with Marquez, remember, for the top two throughout the race, but Bagnaia never, ever slipped up whatsoever. So let me just change the lap count. It is, of course, going to be a 27 lap race today. There we go. Do get in touch, folks. Let us know who you think's going to win. If you haven't yet, do subscribe to the channel. So currently got Bagnaia in front, Jack Miller second, Fabio Quartararo, the championship leader, is in third. Marquez, he's gone up the leaderboard and is outside the podium places at the moment in fourth. We've got I think that's Marco in, no, sorry, that is Martin in, Jorge Martin in fifth. Espargaro, both Espargaros in sixth and seventh. Ren in eighth. And that is your top eight at the moment. Oliveira's at rock bottom at the moment. For any of you Rossi fans out there, of course, not there at the moment. But Bagnaia is looking very good already. And he's learning. I do think you learn a lot from a race win. That's what you do see from these riders. And they absolutely blitz it. They really do. We'll read your messages in just a moment. On the live chat page. If you haven't yet, do get in touch. So the doctor is last at the moment. We'll keep an eye on his progress throughout the race. Bagnaia is already 1.2 seconds ahead. Even though his beats per minute 160, he's looking absolutely spot on at the moment. And is this a late charge from Francesco Bagnaia for that championship win against Fabio Quartararo? He is second in the championship. Let's not forget that. So currently, we have Bagnaia first, We got Jack Miller second, his teammate of Ducati. Fabio Quartararo third. Of course, Quartararo, as I mentioned, the championship leader. He wants to do a lot better this weekend because he only got 8th or 9th, I think it was, from last weekend. So he knows he needs to do better if he wants to just make sure that he has that championship lead and healthy lead between now and the end of the season, which, of course, is next month. So not many races to go now, hence why these opportunities need to come quick for Francesco Bagnaia. He has now done a fastest lap, 1:32.7. While Jack Miller is now 1.3 seconds behind Bagnaia. As I said, Bagnaia looks to be in a race of his own at the moment. Marc Marquez has now gone down to 6. He's behind Espargaro. Get in touch on the live chat page. Let's read some of your messages. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, folks. We're trying to get to 5,000 today. Let's look at our live poll at the moment. So, we asked you who will win the San Marino Grand Prix. And at the moment, it's very tight. We've got Bagnaia at 33%. Kontar at 33%. Marc Marquez at 27%. Oh, and one of the riders has gone. It's none of the front ones. And it's at Sector 3. And there will be a yellow flag, of course. And it's for Jorge Martin. He crashes at turn 14. He goes off the track. Don't worry, he doesn't collide with anyone. It's just himself. Skids off turn 14. He should be able to get back on his bike and return to the track. But not a good start for him. It's now 1.5 seconds Bagnaia is in front. Absolutely fantastic. We got V8 Barangua saying, I want Bagnaia to win and A. Marquez out. We got Pathran Babu saying, hi, I'm excited. Nice to hear from you. Greg Livingstone saying, hi, Jamie. How's your day been? Is there any more streaming later on today? There is on the upcoming live stream section on our channel. We do have tonight's AC Milan versus Juventus game. Well, it's the other way around. It's in Turin. So Juventus hosting that Serie A game, which should be an absolute cracker. We got Tyan saying, go Fabio and Franco. Saying hi a lot on our live chat page. So it's very exciting racing at the moment. But Bagnaia leading at the front. We're now at lap 4 of 27. Quartararo is 1.2 seconds behind Miller in second. They're looking at the live championship right now. Fabio Quartararo would be 44 points ahead of Bagnaia. Muir would be 66 points behind the championship leader in third, and Jack Miller, who's currently in second, will be 81 points behind the leader. So really, you feel Bagnaia is probably the only current consistent contender to go against Fabio Quartararo, but you're asking for a lot, I think, with only a few rounds to go. There's only, 3 or 4 races to go? Let us know how many races it is for sure. Elion saying, Bagnaia for the win today. Please read my comment. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you, Elion. That's really, really nice of you. Really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, folks, do subscribe to the channel. We are less than a few hundred subscribers away from reaching 5,000. So if you haven't yet, do help us get there. And let's try and get there before the end of this race. Currently on lap 5 of what is a 27 lap race. So 23 laps to go. And I think when I last checked, Valentino Rossi was rock bottom, but he's now according to our leaderboard on the stream, we have him in 22nd for Petronas Yamaha, which I know I've been saying it for each race. It's just so sad to have Valentino Rossi end his MotoGP racing career by basically just riding out at the back of the grid, which is just so not him. Not from what I can remember, Valentino Rossi, who won so many world championships, 9 world championships to be precise, a record holder in terms of championship wins. Here's Marc Marquez now leading the pack. He's now in 4th. He's already had a bit of an up and down race. He got himself up to 4th in the first few corners of this race, ended up down in 6th, and now he's back up to 4th. He's always exciting to watch, Marc Marquez, regardless of what you think of him. He is an absolute fantastic rider to watch in MotoGP. So fastest lap goes towards Jack Miller, 1:32.3. Greg asking me who is doing the AC game, Jamie. It should hopefully be Joe Stanley and Andrew Pollard for tonight's game. The live stream is at 20 to 8 tonight, which is 7:40 p.m. UK time, as the game kicks off in the UK at 7:45. So do join us for that. The gap's decreased a little. It was a second and a half between Francesco and Jack in the top two, but it's now 1.1 seconds. So there might be, maybe there could still be a fight in there, but I feel like Fabio Kontar is trying to get second at the moment. The Ducatis have had a couple of good weekends recently. Not been easy to compete with in this second half of the MotoGP season. Now 1.2 seconds between Bagnaia and Jack Miller. We're at lap 7 of 27, so 20 laps to go. Looking at the tyre choice, Bagnaia and Miller have gone for slicks, while the screen's just gone, so I've missed that. But Kontaro's had a different approach with his rear tyre at the moment. Let's look at our live polls. There been any big changes? It's now more of you going towards Francesco Bagnaia. He's leading at 33%. Quartararo at 31%. Marquez at 27%. And in terms of other riders, that of course we can't include every rider on the poll. We can only allow 4 entries. They are at 10%. So currently got Bagnaia leading at the front. A gap of 1.2 seconds at Miller. So at the moment, Ducati's looking good for a 1-2. We're only on lap 8 though, still 20 odd laps to go. And there's going to be stewards doing a review, a long lap penalty for Zarco. Apparently he had a shortcut at turn 1, so that's according to the MotoGP stewards. Which, let's not forget, early on in this, it wasn't long ago that Zarco was fighting at the top for the World Championship along with Fabio Quartararo, but it's just not happened for him in the last few weeks, and that because of that, I'd like to fairly say he's out of contention. And Augie Martin has also been given a long lap penalty for shortcutting at turn 1. I wonder if this was at the start of the race then. So Quartararo and Bastianini, 2.8 seconds in between third and fourth. You can't see Bastianini trying to catch up with Fabio. I can't see that happening. Fabio's too good sometimes when he's out there. Even if he's not leading the race, he is just very good to watch. Harry Gove says Luca Marini. Remember, folks, to subscribe. If you're enjoying the stream, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. If you love your MotoGP, this is your channel for your live watch-alongs. I don't think any other channel does it on YouTube, so do join us on the channel. Become a member. We'd really appreciate it. It's free as well. Don't be shy in clicking that subscribe button. So here we go then. Augie Martin doing the long lap. They're just showing what he did on lap 3 on turn 14, which saw him skid off on turn 14 and was able to resume. He didn't damage the bike too much, didn't have any damage to himself really, so he was able to soldier on. So lap 10 to go. So here we go then, 18 laps to go. At the moment, you just feel that Francesco Bagnaia is going to hold on to this. Well, he's created the gap even more since I've last checked. It's now 2.9 seconds, so he's nearly 3 seconds ahead of his teammate Jack Miller. He's made significant strides in the first sector of this current lap, which is lap 10. 0.2 tenths of a second quicker on sector 1 against Jack Miller. Sorry, this is actually between Jack Miller and Fabio Kontar, so I'm looking at the wrong stats there. Jim B says, look who's at 4th. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Bastianini's doing brilliantly so far. Doing well for Italy there. But so is Francesco Bagnaia, currently at the front for Italy and for Ducati, hoping to win a second race weekend in a row. It was only last weekend he won his first ever MotoGP race. Now he's making it look like it's easy, like he's used to this kind of racing and attitude towards the track. It's fantastic to see someone so comfortable out there. He's riding like Fabio did in the first half of this season, where just nothing will stop him. As long as he's in his zone, no one can stop him, and he's in the right bike for this race. There's no doubt about it. Fabio's still trying to crack down on Jack Miller to at least get second place, because I just feel like this race win is already Francesco's, as long as he just controls it and brings the bike home. There's a track limits warning for Rins, the number 42 rider, so I don't think he'll get any penalties, but he's been given a warning. Let's look at our live poll. There's been a lot more votes, and yes, it's all going towards Francesco Bagnaia after 130 votes so far. If you haven't yet, vote on the poll on who you think's going to win the race. It's probably quite obvious right now, but go with who you think's going to win. Who knows? Could Miller somehow track him down? Currently on lap 12 of 27, so 16 laps to go. Valentino Rossi's gone up 2 places since the last checked. He's 20th at the moment. Remember, folks, subscribe to the channel. If you love your MotoGP, do subscribe. If you love football as well, F1, rugby, tennis, golf, rugby. I've just said that. This is your place for your live watch-alongs. We like to read out all your messages. We love having you on the stream, so do get in touch on the live chat page as well. We are just over 50 subscribers away from reaching 5,000, so help us get there by supporting the channel. It's free to click that subscribe button, so do support us. We'd really appreciate it, because without you guys we wouldn't do these watch-alongs. So at the moment the gap hasn't really changed at all between Miller and Bagnaia. It's 2.8 at the moment. They're just showing the replay of the race start, and yeah, Bagnaia just had a great start. He had Jack Miller to his right, but just behind him enough, half the bike behind him at least. And then approach turn 1, no problem. Turn 2, no problem. Nice and clean. They're just showing the onboard of Johan Zarco, and he let 3 riders go up ahead of him going into turn 1, and that include both the Repsol Hondas of Marc Marquez and Espargaro. So that was a quick overview of the race start so far, in case you're wondering what happened. Dea Lombok says Marquez 93 Mandalika. What does Mandalika mean, Diet? Is that in Spanish at all? I'm not sure. I've heard of that word, but I don't know what it means. Ashen Anine says Bagnaia 63 with the checkered flag. Two and a half seconds. It's actually got a bit lower now, the gap. He was nearly at 3 seconds, Bagnaia, but Miller closing him down a little. Still 15 laps to go. Anything can happen in this MotoGP race here in San Marino. 14 laps to go now, that is. So Miller in second, Fabio Quartararo third. Frederick Tumarang saying Ducati. Bagnaia saying distance between Fabio and Bastianini, please. So the current distance between them is 3.5 seconds, so 3.5 between third and fourth. So as I said, I'm expecting Kontar to be okay here. Actually, as I say that, he's just overtaken Jack Miller. I'm sure that's Jack Miller, yeah. The Ducati second rider. So Fabio Quartararo is now second. So in his quest to try and spoil the Ducati party, he's got a big task to do. He's got to close down 2.8 seconds. And on his fellow championship rival leading the race, he wouldn't want to see Ducati win 2 races in a row. Let's not forget they won last weekend's race, which was the Aragon Grand Prix, which we covered here live on Let's Talk Sport. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe. Bengia Tally says, if Ducati's rear soft tyre does go out, grip, they are fried. Wow, this is the thing. They've got different tyres, the Ducatis, compared to Fabio for Yamaha, so who knows? This is what I mean. It could still end in tears for Ducati here. Marc Marquez is down in 6th. He was 4th, but of course Bastianini's there in 4th for his team at the moment, while Rins is currently in 5th. Gap now at 2.7 between Bagnaia and Quartararo. Fabio was able to decrease the gap by 0.1 of a second in second. Currently at lap 15. 13 laps to go. Tyrone David asking, where is Vanillas? Vanillas is currently in 14th place at the moment for Aprilia Racing. Heaven Rider Abbey says Marquez will win. I feel like it'd be a miracle if Marquez wins today, I'll be honest with you. But who knows? Who knows? You never know. So Alex Rins in 5th. At the moment. Let's read more of your messages. Bastianini for podium says it's Church YT. Who knows? I think you've got one of those races where it could be a very dramatic ending here. It's still, the gap though has not really changed much between the top two of Bagnaia and Kontar. It's 2.7 at the moment. Great crowd in though, it looks like, for this Grand Prix in San Marino. Of course, San Marino has been used for Formula One this year and last year, but they were races that didn't have any crowds in at all. So they were empty race circuits. So thank goodness they're at least getting some sort of revenue from the fans this weekend for their MotoGP, which is normally a regular feature on the calendar. Heaven Rider Abbey saying, no, Marquez is himself a miracle, buddy. I mean, he is. He's won so many races, so many championships in the short time he's been in MotoGP. Let's not forget, he hasn't even been there for 10 years yet. He joined MotoGP 8 years ago, and he won on his debut season. It's absolutely incredible. We've now got a lot more votes coming in on our live poll. If you haven't yet, do vote on our poll. Bagnaia at 53%, Quartararo at 20%, and Marc Marquez has got more votes than Fabio Quartararo now. He's at 21%. Fabio now down at 19%, and other riders, it's 7%. Techie says, go Fabio, go Yamaha with a love heart. Oh, and Bastianini's just got fastest lap. I've just missed the time there, but good to see for someone who's trying to fight for a podium place. He's now just under 2 seconds behind Jack Miller at 1.8 seconds. 11 laps to go. The gap's a little decreased again between Francesco and Fabio at the top. It's 2.3 seconds now, the gap. Tyre says, let's go. Now they're showing turn 16 because they're showing a replay here. Now, is this... This looks like Jack Miller's bike, actually. No, actually, it's Francesco. It's Church YT is saying Bastianini is catching Miller. We've got PHJB Mirando saying, from Brazil, listening to your stream. Great to have you. Hello to Brazil. A few hours ahead of where I am in England. Bastianini's got another fastest lap. This time it's a 1:32.2. And it's a new best race lap. Oh, and we've got a rider down. And it's Rin. So that's in Sector 1. Alex Rins, I think he's the first. No, he's the second, or is he the... No, he's the third retirement of the race. The Kuna, who went out last week, is out this week as well. And Jorge Martin as well. DNF. I must have missed the Kona one because he looked as though he was a DNF on lap 14. Remember, if you haven't, folks, and you want to follow the channel, click that subscribe button below. Give us a like if you're enjoying the stream, and we'd really appreciate your support. We are just under 50 subscribers away from reaching 5,000. Let's get there. Let's get to that aim. We'd really appreciate it. Our next watch along is this evening at 7:45. That is with Joe Stanley and Andrew Pollard covering the watch along between Juventus and AC Milan. So do join them for that if you enjoy your football, especially your Italian football. Bastianini's done it again. Another fastest lap. He really is closing in. And he's right behind him now. He's right on his tail. So at the moment, Ducati might lose one of their riders in the podium places. Quite incredible racing we are seeing here from Bastianini. Bagnaia Tally asking, why can't you stream live videos against rules? Exactly that. Exactly that. Romain Rattles says, the Yamaha Master Blan. I quite like that. That's a good one. Ricardo Gordon saying, thank God for this channel so I could listen. We'll watch the highlights later when I get home on BT Sports. Oh, thanks, Ricardo. I'm glad you appreciate it. Saying, go Al Diablo, just in Warrington at work, listening to you, mate. Oh, thanks. Do let us know where you're watching this stream or the race from today. We'll give you a shout out, folks. At the moment, though, we've got, he's done it. Bastianini up to third. He's overtaken Miller. Great ride there. Can he hold on, though? Jack Miller, of course, I'm sure will fight. But at the moment, Bastianini's racing on his own. Some great fastest laps there. But look at this now. A second and a half between Bagnaia and Fabio. Can Fabio turn it round here with 8 laps to go? It would be some performance. But who knows? The way he's been racing this season and the way Bagnaia's been racing, who knows? So currently 1.2 seconds now between Francesco and Fabio as they're going in, as they're currently in sector 2 of lap 20. It is rather dark in my room. I feel like it's getting dark. It's getting quite cloudy outside where I am. Bengia's Tally saying, wow, superb rookie on home turf. Tyrone David saying, thanks for commentary, listening from Sri Lanka. And it's Church YT putting capital letters in response to Bastianini getting third from Jack Miller, saying he got him. He certainly did. David Cambler asking, where's the second Yamaha? That is a good question. I actually don't know. Oh, he's all the way... Morbidelli is all the way in 18th, but he's had a difficult season. He's had injuries, let's not forget, Morbidelli, so he's probably just trying to get himself back into the racing. Remember, folks, to subscribe, give us a like. Sorry, I keep sharing it a lot, but we'd love to get to 5,000 subscribers. Do help us there. If you love your MotoGP, this is your watch. This is your place for watch along and live commentaries of the MotoGP races. Greg Livingston asking, is this the last race of the MotoGP season? It is not. No, the ends next month. There's still 3 or 4 races to go after San Marino, I believe. There's no race next weekend. No, they will have a weekend off next week. So a second and a half between Bagnaia and Fabio. I feel like Bagnaia might have enough here to win, but there's still 7 laps to go. It's been an interesting race so far. Maybe not at the front, but especially towards the podium places, it's been very interesting to watch. Fabio, of course, having to overtake Jack Miller, and then Bastianini overtaking Jack Miller. So Jack Miller having to concede a couple of places in the last few laps, which doesn't help Ducati out, but currently they do have Francesco here at the front. Now, as they just close in on lap 22, the gap is at 1.4. So we can see him. He's right, not that far behind him. You can see him, but can he close that gap? Oh, Bagnaia says 5 more races to go. 1.2 seconds now between Francesco and Fabio. Our live poll has pretty much gone for Bagnaia win now, 52%, while Fabio Kontar has got less votes at 20% than Marc Marquez at 21%, which Marc Marquez is 5th. So you can't expect him to win this race surely now. Marc Marquez, who's all the way in 5th behind Miller, Bastianini in 3rd, Quartararo 2nd, and Bagnaia all the way at the top at the moment. It's 1.1. Once it gets to under a second, it's starting to feel like it could be Fabio's race, maybe. There's 5 laps to go. Lap 23. Jeff Perrault asking, Fabio champion? Well, it won't be today, not mathematically, but if there are 4 or 5 races to go after this one, he is getting closer. As long as he just stays within reach of Bagnaia at least. He may not have to always win any races now, but at the moment he's right behind Bagnaia, and he might just stop him from winning a 2nd race in a row like he did at Aragon last weekend. Showing a bit of a replay of Francesco's rear tyre in slow motion. So the tyre choices are different. He's gone with softs on those rear tyre, while Fabio's gone with medium. Big difference going into the last part of this race, which it is quite cloudy. You know, it's not sunny weather in San Marino today. Could there be any chances of rain before the end? Only 5 laps to go. I know I'm in England and I'm in a completely different area than San Marino right now, but it's quite cloudy where I am. So weather's not been great here in Europe today. It looks as though Bagnaia's best lap was on lap 3 in terms of his race pace. Out of all the laps so far, that was a 1:32.4. Bagnaia Tally says Fabio's going to catch. Heaven Rider Abby says no, Kontar is a fluke. But in terms of going back to... Oh, we got Christopher Russell saying, what's up from the Bahamas? The weather must be all right there compared to where I am. Christopher, maybe I'll have to join you on a cocktail or two at the beaches of Bahamas one day, maybe. Jeff Perrault asking, will Kontar win the championship? I think he'll win it. I think it's his to lose now. He won't win it today, not mathematically, not officially, but I think he will win the championship. He's been too good, too consistent. It's now half a second. Less than half a second. This might just be the right time for Fabio to ruin this Ducati party and beat them towards a race win here in San Marino. Remember to subscribe if you love your MotoGP. Click the subscribe button if you're enjoying this watch along as well. Give us a like. We'd really appreciate your follow. We got RDX Hard saying hello from Nepal. Nepal. Romain Ratal saying let's go Fabio. Techie saying Fabio and Yamaha love heart. Same message as before, but it's very relevant now. This is very close. Bagnaia did brilliantly last weekend to fought off Marc Marquez. We might see some last lap drama here. We do have 3 laps to go. Now or never here really for Fabio to steal the limelight from Francesco and win the race. 0.4. I think Bastianini might have taken 3rd already. He's 3 seconds behind the top 2, so I don't think there's not much of a chance of him getting the race win unless these two somehow collided and went off the track. Hey, it can happen. It can happen in MotoGP. It can certainly happen. Bagnaia saying Marc Marquez is long gone and dead. Oh dear. Heaven Rider Abby says, yes, come on, Fabio, and go off the track. Oh, dear. So if it ends like this current race results, Bagnaia will be 48 points behind Quartararo with around 4 to 5 races left of the calendar. Muir will stay in third, and Jack Miller, because he's slipped up a couple of places in this race, he'll now be 92 points behind the Yamaha rider. It's very close now. We're looking at 0.2 tenths of a second. They approach one of the corners. We've got 2 laps to go. This is very, very nerve-wracking for the Ducati garage. Fabio, he hasn't got much to lose in my eyes. I think he'll take second, but if he can get that opportunity to overtake Francesco and win the race, it'll certainly be very, very tasty for the Frenchman. It's Church Right. He says 45 races left in the calendar. You're not including Moto 2 and Moto 3, are you? Oh, it's incredibly close. Penultimate lap. I think Francesco, as I said, he defended well against Marquez. He had to do some moves with Marquez to win the race. Excuse me. But he did what he had to do, and I think that experience might help him. We've now gone past the 4,960 subscribers, so we're less than 40 subscribers away, folks. If you haven't yet, click that subscribe button, give us a like, give us a follow, and help us reach that 5,000 mark. We'd really appreciate it. We are now on the last lap, lap 27 of 27 on your top left corner of our screen. And at the moment, Fabio might have to concede. He's right behind him. He hasn't been able to make a move just yet, but can he do it now? As I said, there's no time for errors now. He's got to go for it if he wants to win this race. He'll still lead the championship healthily, but I'm sure he'd love to make that gap just a little bit bigger and get himself another race win of the season. At the moment, Bagnaia is doing his job right. He went a bit wide there. Has that helped Fabio at all? Probably not. 0.2 tenths of a second. This is a really, really dramatic end. The members of both Ducati and Yamaha in the garages are just watching on nervously. There's nothing they can do. It's down to their 2 riders. Gap's now 0.4. I think that might just be it for Francesco. I think he might have done what he had to do. Unless he makes any slip-ups now, he should win the 2021 San Marino Grand Prix. Here they come. I think this might be the last turn. I think it is. It sure is. And Ducati will just confidently celebrate now on the side. And they have won the San Marino Grand Prix. That's another race win for Francesco Bagnaia. That's 2 race wins in a row. He won his very first MotoGP race last weekend. Here, of course, in the Aragon Grand Prix. He gets a fist pump from Fabio. Both riders respecting each other at the checkered flag, and why can't they? I mean, it was a great race. He nearly had him. If there was maybe 1 or 2 more laps to go, I think Fabio would have won this race, but it doesn't matter. They did 27 laps, and the race winner is Francesco Bagnaia. What a week it has been for him. He won last weekend, as I said, in Aragon. He wins again today, and he will stay second, at least, in the championship. And because of that, the championship standings is 48 points between first and second. 25 points for Francesco. His beats per minute has gone up since the start of the race. It was at 160, but now at 175, 176, something like that. And do you blame him? He's got to, and he's got to celebrate that. He'll be really, really happy. So get in touch on a live chat page, folks. We'll read out some of your messages and get some of your reactions from the end. Well, it's Francesco, who's currently at the moment, he's got one of the photographers giving him a pat on the back. Valentino Rossi's coming up to him, a fellow Italian, of course, the legend that is the Doctor. Just congratulating Francesco on the race win. Heaven Rider Abby says, it's all right, Marc Marquez, next year, 2022, is yours. Just come back completely fit and fine and 100%. Jim B says, Miller dropped to 6. Damn, yeah, didn't notice that. Yeah, you're right. Jack Miller down to 6, I believe. Unless Muir, well, it says on my leaderboard on our screens that Muir was 6. Buck Nasty says, great to see Ducati win. It's Church Right. He says, yes, Bastianini podium. And I tell you what, let's end that poll of asking you who would win the race, and let's put in a new one, which would be the rider of the day. If you haven't yet, folks, click that subscribe button before you leave the stream. Give us a subscribe. We're just over 30 subscribers away from reaching 5,000. So the poll is up. So currently, the majority of you, the 53% of you who voted for the race win of Bagnaia, you got it right. 53%. Marc Marquez was at 20%. Fabio Quartararo was also at 20%. So they were both level there, the Spaniard and the Frenchman. And then in terms of other riders, there was 6%. So thanks to all of you, 469 viewers, for voting in the poll. Much appreciated. But if you haven't yet, vote for your rider of the day. We've put in Francesco Bagnaia, of course, the race winner today for second weekend in a row, is at 54% at the moment. So get voting. Fabio Kontar, 23%, and Bastianini, who got himself all the way up to third after starting the race in 12th, is currently at 23% as well. So Marc Marquez, after finishing 4th today, not a bad result for him. He is now 9th in the championship with 92 points. There was a replay. They're showing the replay of the last lap, and I think he did. Marc Marquez went on the inside on both of his riders in front and was able to overtake what looked to be Jack Miller and Muir at the end there. That is absolutely fantastic manoeuvre by the former world champion. He absolutely nailed it. Now we're waiting to hear from the riders' reactions to the race. Couldn't do it last week because we were tight for time for the F1 Grand Prix. That was on straight after the Aragon Grand Prix. That was the Italian Grand Prix. But we've got no race from F1 today to watch out for at 2 o'clock. So Francesco's still out on the track on his bike with the Italian flag. And so is Bastianini, who finished third today, which was a fantastic ride for him, for Espen Sarama, who are his team, as he goes round his number 23 bike. He's now come into the pits and he's absolutely delighted. You can see the smile behind the helmet. Valentino Rossi wished he had a weekend like that, but he's sadly having to fight near the back these days. He finished in 17th today. As of course, we've got to make the most out of each race now because it is the last ever season of Valentino Rossi's career. Maybe he'll come back. I don't think so. I'll be surprised. But you can never be so sure because when they retire, they miss it from the moment they leave the circuit. Some of these athletes. Be sure to subscribe, folks, before you leave the stream. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like. If you love your MotoGP, Let's Talk Sport here on YouTube is the channel to follow for your MotoGP commentaries. Of course, the next race is, let me check, it's not next weekend. That I do know for sure. Let me check. Actually, the next one is the Japanese Grand Prix, but it's not until Sunday, the 3rd of October, which in my UK time, it'll be at 7 a.m. So it'll be an early start for me to watch that one. But then it's a very much different time for me for the race after that, which is the Grand Prix of the Americas. Actually, I don't know if the Japanese Grand Prix is happening because they've got 2 dates here. Both of them on the same day for the American Grand Prix and Japanese Grand Prix. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Buck Nasty says he made MotoGP. Valentino Rossi is a legend. He certainly is. Currently, for our rider of the day, Bagnaia is leading that. Bagnaia now just off his bike, waving the flag as he's parked up his bike. He'll be very proud of his second race win in a row. And I think when you win more than one race, that is a even more better privilege and a more better feeling, just to kind of prove that you can do it more than once and that you are capable of winning one of the hardest races in motorcycle in the sport. It's a great win for him. There's no doubt about that. I think he'll enjoy this one more than last weekend. I honestly think that, especially when he's up against a championship leader and he was able to hold him, but he was able to hold him and Marc Marquez, who's a multiple world champion with all that experience he has. Not bad two race Sundays he's had there. You'll remember those weekends for sure, no doubt. Let me double check officially when is the next MotoGP race. Let's check it from their website. I did Google it, but sometimes Google isn't always accurate. So, after San Marino, it is the United States Grand Prix. So it looks as though the Japanese one must have been cancelled, even though they had the Olympics recently. But maybe the restrictions might have gone a bit tighter again. Still just waiting for the interviews from our riders. We like to at least hear their reaction to the races that they do straight after. And it's great to see fans back here for the San Marino Grand Prix. As I said, they had... Oh, hang on, here we go.
Bagnaia, you didn't just finish on the podium. If you'd had a better start position, you had the pace to fight for the win. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible to do this with this bike. I know the potential of all this, and nothing. And at the end, I'm here. I've battled a lot during the race, and it's really difficult to close the gap from the podium. But after when I have overtaken Miller, everything inside me, okay, now I have to push a lot. And after I see Pecco and Fabio very close to me, but it's still impossible for me attack this rider today. But it's really nice, my first podium. Misano is magic for me, and amazing, thank you.
Incredible ride, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's clearly delighted, Bastianini. Interesting what the interviewer said. If he had a better start in the race at lap 1, he would have, he had the pace to win the race. I don't think he would have done, to be honest with you. I think when you've got Bagnaia in good form and Kontar leading the championship, it doesn't matter about pace, it's whether or not you can deal with the riders around you. And I think for Bastianini. I'm not saying he's not capable, but I think he'll take third, to be honest with you. I think he's not going to take any disappointment in that whatsoever. There's a few messages on our live chat page. I quite like this one from Buck Nasty, asking if you could choose a race to attend, where would it be? You know what? I think, at least while Rossi was a rider, I would have said the Mugello Grand Prix because of the atmosphere and the flares and the flags and colours that they have just for Valentino Rossi. It's just crazy the amount of following he's got, especially in his home race. But Mugello Grand Prix I'd like to go to, especially on a sunny, warm weekend, which most of the time it seems to be. We got Andre Chang saying Marquez, of course, finishing just outside the podium places today. Well, let's hear from Fabio.
The win, but Pecco in sector 3 was on another level today. Turn 12, I don't know how he's doing that. We've used tire, but at the end we did the job. 20 points in the championship is really important, and we still have 48 points advantage. So let's keep calm, and congratulations for him because he made an amazing race.
Wonderful ride, Fabio. Congratulations.
Bagnaia did make an amazing race.
So yeah, that's Fabio's reaction. We didn't catch the start of the interview there, but looks as though he said he had problems with one of the sectors at least in the race. But I think we'll hear from the current man on form in just a moment or two, which is Francesco Bagnaia. So if you have just joined us, actually here's a fact for you for Fabio Quartararo, the French rider with most Premier Class podiums, which is 19. Doesn't sound like a lot, but we don't talk about a lot of French riders to be that successful or to be near the top in MotoGP in the last few years at least. But of course, we are seeing other French riders there on the circuit, especially Zarco, who was fighting at the top nearly. Let's hear from Bagnaia now.
Back on top, Pecco. 2 wins in a week. I want to know, how scary was it at the end of the race when your tyres had dropped?
Yeah, I was knowing that with soft rear, maybe I was struggling a bit. But I tried to push like hell in the first 2-3 laps to open the gap. And then the last 10 laps when I was seeing that Fabio was recovering, it was very difficult. But I tried to push also in the last laps. And the pace was quite constant. Him with the medium was a bit better in the last part, but we were incredible today. The team worked so perfectly, and two victories in a row is incredible for me. I was struggling to win my first race, always I was missing something, and now already 2, so I'm very happy.
Big congratulations, Pecco.
Thank you very much.
Yes, 2.
So Bagnaia very delighted with his race win. He seemed very nice and chilled out. He looks quite tired actually, bless him. He's probably had quite a surreal week. As I said, last weekend he won his very first MotoGP Grand Prix. So along with that, he's done very well for himself. So well done to him. But if you haven't yet, folks, do vote on our poll, which we set up about 10 minutes ago, asking you for the rider of the day. And it looks as though it will go towards Francesco Bagnaia. I think he won our rider of the day last weekend as well in our last race watch along when he won the Aragon Grand Prix. He's currently leading at 64%, Kontar at 27%, and Bastianini, which I must admit was expecting more votes for him because he started 12th and then came 3rd to get the final spot on the podium. He is currently at 8%. So let's end the poll there. Bagnaia wins the Let's Talk Sport Rider of the Day for the San Marino Grand Prix. So congratulations to him. He doesn't just take a race win, it's also from you fans here on Let's Talk Sport, your rider of the day. If you are new to Let's Talk Sport, do subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this stream, subscribe, give us a like as well towards this stream. And if you're wondering where you can catch more of our MotoGP content, we're trying to do every race watch along between now and the end of the season. So when I check now for the next race, it'll be in about 2 weeks' time. So 2 Sundays from now, which is October 3rd, it will be in the Circuit of the Americas, which I don't think MotoGP was able to go there last year because of COVID. So it does return for the United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas, known for also hosting the US Grand Prix for F1. So that's on the 3rd of October, which I believe is an 8 p.m. start UK time, which is my time. So it will be a late start, but it will be good to watch. And of course, the remaining races. So it's 4 races to go now until Fabio should seal his first ever World Championship. And the next one is in Italy after America on October the 24th. So they're coming in every 2 weeks now. Not every week now. That's it. Every 2 weeks, every fortnight for each race until the end of the season, which actually ends in November. All of it. So we've got it in Italy again at the Misano World Circuit. So we're back in San Marino pretty much on the 24th of October, but that's going to be known as the Italian Grand Prix. Then 2 weeks after, the 7th of November for the Portuguese Grand Prix at the Algarve International Circuit. And then, as always, it's going to be wrapped up in Valencia for the Spanish Grand Prix, which is on the 14th of November. So maybe we'll have a world champion by then, a new world champion of Fabio Kontar. It wasn't his race win today, but it just helps him get a bit closer, a step closer to his first ever World Championship. So before we wrap up here, let's just quickly go through the leaderboard once again. So Francesco Bagnaia winning his second ever MotoGP race and his second race in a row after the Aragon Grand Prix last Sunday. He wins yet again today, 0.3 tenths of a second ahead of our championship leader of Fabio Quartararo. He now leads the championship by 48 points, and that is with 4 races to go. He's no doubt the firm favourite. And Bastianini getting a podium after starting the race in 12th. He was able to fight off Marc Marquez, Jack Miller and Muir and others to get there and get himself a very, very, very historic and famous podium for himself, to make sure at least 2 Italians are on the podium for this race. So, anyway, the last thing to mention is the DNF. So Rins went out after lap 17. Lap 14 was the Kuna for Tech 3 KTM, and then Jorge Martin going off first out of all the riders in lap 10 after starting the race in 4th. So a bad day for him. Anyway, if you haven't yet, do subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and we'd really appreciate it. We'll see you for the next MotoGP watch along on October 3rd at 8 p.m. UK time for the United States Grand Prix. So don't miss out on that. And in case you want more watch-alongs in terms of sport, our next one is tonight with our mates of Joe Stanley and Andrew Pollard at 7:45 in the evening. I should remember this. It's Juventus versus AC Milan in Turin. So can Juventus get their season going finally, or will it be a win for AC Milan? Do join them for that, and don't miss out on that at all. So anyway, thank you for watching. See you soon. Really appreciate your support, and we will see you in the future. And of course, have a very good Sunday. See you later, folks.